Welcome to the Flexible Philosophy Podcast, where we explore psychology, religion, and philosophy in everyday life. We are both therapists, but we're not your therapist. If you need support for your own situation, please reach out to a professional therapist. We are so glad you're here. Let's kick it off.
We're back.
Hello.
Today is our matching Wednesday. We are spontaneously wearing the same two shirts and glasses.
And yes, we even elevated this with glasses. If you're listening on Spotify, you should really look this up on YouTube so you can see us.
Yeah, it's a sight to behold. Very cute.
And we have matching backgrounds because we both have like therapist office with like a landscape mountain and all the lights. It's really something you need to see.
We're just basic. Like that's what this comes down to. Like wearing the exact same clothes and having like the same pictures. There's another mountain picture back there.
No, hold on. We both have water bottles. Put your water.
Yeah. I mean,
well, we're also matching because Aleesa sent me this sweater when I was diagnosed last year in like a care package, and she got one for herself. So I consider this my Aleesa therapist sweater.
It's on brand. It's a cardigan. Like all therapists need cardigans.
You can't go wrong. I fully embrace the Mr. Rogers vibe. That's how I like to dress. And I think that's how people feel safe and cozy. So why would we not?
Yesterday I was wearing Vans shoes. Yeah. And I was like, these are like my generation's Keds. Like how Mr. Rogers would wear Keds and he'd change them out when he'd get in his house.
Yes.
I was like, that's so fancy that he switches shoes. He has like house shoes, you know?
These are my new shoes I just bought. Hold on.
I love those.
Look, they're not Keds or Vans, but they're like kind of nice tennis shoe lounge. I don't like wearing nice work shoes. I've changed my style.
Yes. Yeah. I have under my desk, I have a pair of flats because I often wear just like athletic shoes to work.
Yes.
Even if I'm wearing dress shoes. I wear athletic shoes and then I'm like, well, if I need to, I'll wear those flats. Like depending on the vibe or the outfit or whatever. Today I'm extremely sore. Like I got killed at the gym, very sore. And I'm wearing heels today, like these boots with heels. Okay. Mistake. I've been walking around like so stiff all day.
Oh no.
Yep. Okay. Well, we got the small talk out of the way since our readers or our listeners have been so curious to know our footwear. All right, we have an interesting topic. There's just gonna be like a little taste of the topic. As a disclaimer, Jennifer and I are not political science majors. We are not like huge political geniuses or anything like that. But regarding flexible philosophy, we've noticed some patterns in society, and we're going to look at a couple hypothetical situations and see if we can predict like both sides.
Yes.
So both sides to the argument, or like who might typically choose what under what societal conditions, stuff like that. So
because people's opinions about politics seem to be very flexible even when they think it's logical.
Yeah. Or who is currently in power or who's pitching the idea can sometimes sway things too, even if like one way would go one way, typically, stereotypically, etc. But okay, so without further ado, I'm going to throw out a suggestion of like let's say this is a news headline, okay? And Jennifer and I are going to kind of pick apart what sides people might land on under what circumstances, okay?
Yeah, I love it.
So, all right, number one. The government wants to make half of Utah a mine to reduce national debt.
Okay.
So the government came out and they said, we're taking half of Utah because we discovered some valuable material there. Half of that territory is going to be a mine, and the money that we get from that is going towards reducing our national debt.
It's in the nation's best interest that the government take that land for the whole country.
They're saying, yes.
That's their pitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what sides of the argument are there? Like, why would people agree with that, and why would they disagree?
Well, I think some people might feel that it was a government overreach and violates the individual rights of the citizens who
Mhm.
own the land.
Okay.
And I think other people might think that it's an important economic move and the whole country will be richer if we make it, and then the profits will trickle down to everyone. So it's actually in our best interest and we have to do it because it's what we need to do for progress.
Okay. Yeah. I think something similar that's happening lately, it
Did
that
you
was
write this based off of that? Because it sounds exactly the same, except it's not Utah.
did I write it based upon what's happening with the national parks?
Oh no, I thought you meant Greenland.
Oh gosh.
It's such a Greenland thing.
That too. Like, okay, I feel like this is a little bit of a derail, but sometimes I feel like I live in an echo chamber because I'm like, there's no way anyone thinks that taking over Greenland is a good idea. Like, this is me living in, a liberal bubble, right? There's other people that are like, hell yeah, brother. Like,
Yeah.
let's go on that. Like they like Manifest Destiny continues to be the mission of our country.
Yes.
Yeah. So, or they're like the people in Greenland, whatever they're called, they would do well if they could call themselves an American. Like, this is the biggest privilege on earth. Like, we're the most powerful country on earth. Why wouldn't you want to be one of our territories? Like, people have that argument, whereas everyone else is like, just stop, leave the world alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we know what political group both of those people would tend to sit on, you know.
Well, it's like good to take something when it's a resource for you, but we're not for the government taking our resources. So I think what I've learned is that it's not a moral problem. It's a who's going to get impacted. So when it's a certain group's rights or
Mhm.
belongings being infringed upon, then there's a big push for like the government needs to stay out of it. Like this is violating the rules. But when it's someone else being impressed upon, um, they're like, we don't care. We want it. This is a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah. I think like people have never like set foot in Greenland, like can people find it on a map, for example? And it's like they're like, how people see Canada, like, oh, it's just all forest or something. Do people actually live there? I feel like Americans have a very specific way of dismissing existence of other countries
Yeah.
or dismissing the sovereignty of other governments because like we've been told like, oh, the democratic system is superior, or the checks and balances of the United States, like you don't see that anywhere else. Like the United States is like anti-corruption, it's the least corrupt or whatever. Like I think a lot of Americans are brainwashed into this superiority complex to where they're like, why wouldn't you want the privilege of being taken over?
Yeah, we're
That's
doing you a favor.
I mean, with Venezuela, for example, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll take charge while you guys figure things out. And
Yeah.
everyone's probably like, yeah, as America should take charge because look, everything's so stable here. It's running so well here. Like they're getting like a free deal out of all this.
I just think it's the cult dynamic playbook because you're telling everyone to be afraid of some alternative danger, and the only protection is the big leader who is going to protect the group based on their own justification for it.
Mm. Okay.
That's how high control groups work.
Keep going with
Okay,
that.
Keith Raniere, or let's say
Yeah.
Scientology, is my favorite like example because it's so unique, but
Mhm.
like they will justify any kind of bullying behavior or law breaking or whatever, or buying anything or hurting anyone, hurting lightly, because they're here to defend the Xenos god or whatever.
Mhm.
And their power and dominance in the world is forward is bettering that mission. And everyone needs
Oh
to be
yeah.
afraid because their lives without that are a failure. Like, what is it that they call the others who aren't? Scientologist. Um,
Mm.
I'm just saying, like, the setup for high control is to make someone afraid of what happens if you don't follow the leader.
Yeah, um, I was kind of thinking about their fair game policy. Like they can basically torture people and ruin their lives and stuff like that because they stepped away from Scientology.
Yeah.
Can you hear this train?
Barely.
Okay, I was
Very
like, this is
faint.
going to interrupt.
No, you're good.
What are they called? Suppressive people? Or is that just someone that's ex-Scientologist? Like, am I a suppressive person?
I think that's
Hmm.
an ex-Scientologist, but it's basically like anyone who's not a Scientologist is like, oh, Thetans.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know, like we're like all worthless individuals. So I don't
Mhm.
know. I just feel like with Greenland, it's like, well, you have to be really afraid of the dark powers who are going to take over the world unless I have Greenland. And it's like, is it true? I don't know. Sounds like a scam to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't with the colonialism stuff. Like, oh yeah, like why do you think you can just say that something is yours when it's like a sovereign nation and like they already have their stuff set up. And like also they're saying no.
But that would be your example in Utah.
Well, if people, I mean, like, okay, so let's say Joe Biden pitched the idea of like, we found this mine in Utah and we'd like to reduce the national debt. Would people who are typically Democrat feel some type of way about that if Biden had pitched it versus if Trump were pitching it now? You know, could they be pro the mine because it fulfills the interests of their political affiliation, but against it at the same time, no other variables change other than which political party is pitching
Yeah. Well, I
it?
think the only fracture you would have would be the people whose property was going to get taken.
Yeah.
They're the ones who would be like, this is not morally good. It'd be interesting to see, and I've seen this, like, if it doesn't impact you, then people just fall on party lines and they assume that it's a good idea if their leader says it's a good idea.
Yeah, or it's like, okay, so let's say that it's already government property technically, like they're going to make Yellowstone National Park a mine and like they're going to get rid of like all the vegetation basically and they're just going to like mine it up. They're
Mhm.
going to completely ruin Yellowstone National Park. Individual owners is kind of removed as a variable because like the government already owns it and like, you know, people aren't specifically like living there.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know if that would change like if there would be like no pushback regarding the land in itself and it's just pushback regarding like no, don't ruin nature, you know? But is that a good enough argument? Or like when World War II happened and like all the women had to like start manufacturing stuff, like Rosie the Riveter stuff,
Yeah.
you know? It was like that was like for the good of the nation. Um sorry. I don't know if nowadays the same applies or if people would have the same type of response for like, you know, this mission of the nation to like reduce our national debt or, you know, to move forward with a war or something like that.
What are
And
your other examples?
moving on. Okay.
Sorry. Time out. Okay, we just took a mini break and now we're back.
It was a friendship break.
We had to reconvene on this topic and basically had to express that I don't know what I'm saying about politics because it's so confusing right now. And I'm like, I can talk about it, but I don't know how to eloquently discuss it. Okay. But
I, it's hard because like I think we both feel kind of jaded because of the situation right now. And so like it kind of skews negatively, you know, where we tend to be at like, you know, looking on the bright side, positive stuff, like positive psychology things. And when you're looking at something that's like it makes you feel powerless, like I don't know. The politics discussion stuff. That's why they say you're not supposed to talk about it, but like that's all we end up talking about.
yes, here we are in the mess. And if somebody listened to this, I hope they would be like, see, they don't know either.
Okay. Yep, it's all good. We just know how to vote.
Also, I wanted to have like a hypothetical conversation about those questions, like, the one about Utah, but all I can think about is us invading Greenland with troops on the ground, which is what this week has been about. And I'm like, oh, what a mess we're in.
Yeah. And like no one wants it. Like, has anyone been asked? Like,
Well, someone told me today that he found a liberal source where somebody was saying it was important that we invade Greenland.
that's stupid. You can
Well,
find anything. You can find anything you're looking for.
they were saying like, well, he claimed the liberal perspective was like, well, there's things that our government knows about in the world that's like risks from China and Russia, and like they know things that we don't understand about why this is actually so important. But like I just don't believe that. Like we've been lied to over and over again. Like watching that seemed like a credible potential thing. But then like I watched them getting lied to. See, now I'm on a rant. This is why I don't want to talk about it
Do
because
it. Just
I
keep going.
can't.
You're good.
Ugh.
You're good.
Okay. Like I've watched as good as I can, like verified footage of the ice raids and verified numbers statistically of like what's actually happening with ice with my very eyes. And then I've seen the administration lie and hold up pictures of wanted criminals and be like, this is what we're doing. But then I've heard factually checked accounts of citizens who are not even illegally like in the country and they're like being harmed and abused. Like we've watched this for so many years. We've watched them lie over and over
Mhm.
and over. And
Yeah.
now someone who I kind of respect is telling me like, actually in this situation, they're not lying. There's like a reason to do this. And my brain is like, that can't be possible.
That sounds culty to me. Like that sounds like the legit playbook of like these powers have knowledge that like we don't understand, you know? And so we have to blindly follow that even if it causes harm to other people because they know the plans for
I
us.
agree.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, of course, the government is going to want to prosper us and give us this bright future and stuff like that. So we just have to trust them. That's the culty playbook.
Yes, and it doesn't hit me in religion when someone says that to me, like, well, you don't really understand God or theology. Like, I'm like, that's not gonna work on me. But
Mm-hmm.
when someone says you don't really understand world economics or you don't understand world power, like world political dynamics, like that does hit me at an insecure place because that's true. Like, is it
Yeah.
possible that I don't understand complex economic strategies, that there's like a shadow of doubt that makes me doubt myself. But what I do know is like what's right and moral and like what's inappropriate. And so I guess my brain, even today, is trying to discern like, am I getting lied to, even though I don't have the skill set of politics and finance to know?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think economics and politics and stuff, or like diplomatic relations, blah, 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 is something that's kind of like outside of our realm. But like if it has to do with cult dynamics or leadership stuff, like we are kind of the experts in the room to express, like, oh, these are the cycles that we see. Like, you know, we have the vocabulary for that, but we can't even describe inflation and like why that happens.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I have no
Yes.
idea. I'm not the expert in the room on that type of thing. So if they're like, oh, well, the people that do understand it are, you know, they say that like invading Greenland is the thing to do to stop that. And like it'll trickle down and like the average person will be benefited by that and stuff. Uh, okay. Like the expert said that,
Right.
maybe, you know, but um, I just don't see how colonialism has ever worked out, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree. And it
Or it's
goes,
like, you're just think like with that argument that I just said, we're only thinking about, okay, the trickle down system of like the average American's going to pay less for groceries. What about the people in Greenland? You know, like what's the population of Greenland? I don't know.
we don't
Like,
even know. No
yeah.
one even has any information about this. It's not like we debated this in high school, like, history or whatever.
Yeah. I was like,
It's so out of left field.
yeah, it's like, why them? Why are they a target? And so if someone's like, someone knows the answer
Yeah.
and this is why, like, yeah,
Yep.
I think the ignorance can really sway people and stuff like that. It's just like this blind trust in the authority that is a proclaimed expert.
Which goes exactly back to what you kicked us off which was a kind of hypothetical about like you might agree with policies based on who you follow as a leader, and it could
Mhm.
be completely contradictory. But that's because people can't be experts at everything. So they do rely on leaders, and when their leaders tell them it's a good idea to buy Utah for a mine, or
Mhm.
it's not a good idea, they tend to be like, well, okay, because it is very difficult on your own to see what's helpful.
Yeah, I think like our political system has gotten so polarized to where it's like, okay, well, if something follows the general democratic mission, then they must have a plan that goes with like our values or something like that.
Mhm.
So, or if a Republican pitches that idea, like the Republicans are the same. If this goes along with like our general trajectory and our general mission, like as it tends to be, then sure, but like um people are so quick to reject an idea just because it comes from the other side or accept an idea because it comes from their own. Like we've lost a lot of critical thinking because our political party has become our last name. And it's just like
Mhm.
not changing that. So interesting little tidbit as we finish up. Um, do you know this trend where people are posting 2016 pictures?
No, because I got off social media 10 days ago. How
Oh,
trendy is it?
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for that. Um,
Yeah.
so
Shout
everyone's
out to
posting.
that.
Yeah, that was a very therapeutic move of you. Everyone's posting themselves in 2016 because it's like 2016 was 10 years ago, and everyone's like, "What?" Like it's
Yeah.
it's crazy to think that. And so this girl is like, yeah, let's do the 2016 trend, but you also have to write who you voted for during that election."
Oh no.
I was like, oh, shots fired. Like,
Wait, was that the first Trump
yeah,
election?
Trump versus Hillary.
Trump Clinton.
Oh,
Interesting.
sorry. Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
I will tell you, I went independent that one, and it was the first time I didn't vote Republican.
Who did you vote for? The
Um,
independent candidate?
who was the independent that year? I don't remember. It was a big deal because I'd only ever voted Republican my whole life.
Okay. So you were starting like turning around your train.
The train stalled in the tracks, and it was like, I can't go forward with this. I'm not sure I want to go backward with this.
Uh-huh.
So we're just gonna we're gonna vote, but we're gonna vote neutral.
Okay. I also threw away my vote for that election.
You did?
I was living in Mexico at the time,
Okay.
and I voted for Ben Carson,
Okay.
who, do you know who that is?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
I wrote his name in, and from Mexico, I had to mail the absentee ballot internationally. And all that effort was done to throw my vote away and vote for Ben Carson. And I wanted him to know,
Yeah.
like, that I voted for him because I thought he was like the best candidate at the time.
Mm,
Yep. I'm
good
like,
for
out
us.
of everyone, I chose to write you in.
Good for us. And you know what I'd like to finalize this with because I went on a lamentation that I'm not an expert. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And also the thing that I've learned about life from deconstruction and recovering from like high control religion is that to trust myself and to
Mm-hmm.
know that if something doesn't seem right to my intuition or my sense of like perspective in the world, that like my intuition has been very good. Sometimes it's off, but like a lot of times it's good. And so just a reminder that like if it seems off, it probably is.
Okay.
And if someone's lied to you once, they're probably lying to you again.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's sage advice. I love that. I'm here for it.
I'm glad we did this episode. It's
Yeah,
good to
me
be on
too.
here. See,
Yeah.
we did it.
I was glad for the friend debrief that people won't get to hear, but yeah.
Sorry you missed it.
Yeah, it was just more of our brand, if we could say that, a brand of friendship
Sweathered, the sweatered brand.
matching.
Oh my
Love
God.
it. All
Okay,
right.
bye everyone.
Bye.